Hey friends, Doug Addison. Welcome to a Spirit Connection podcast, and it's 2020. So excited for the new year, and I've got some really cool stuff to share with you because as you're moving into the new year, I know that you might be struggling with things like stress and procrastination and trying to get a breakthrough in those areas of your life. Well, I tell you, I had to battle with these things myself. And in this episode, I'm going to walk you through how to get set free from stress, how to begin to move in God's perfect peace. And as you do these things, it's going to align you with the things of heaven. That's what counts. If you align yourself on earth as it is in heaven, as Jesus says, it will cause you to walk at levels of peace that you really maybe have never dreamed possible. So let's get it going. Lord, I thank you for your goodness. I thank you that you're moving right now and you're doing things, new things that are going to open up on a greater level as we go throughout the year. We're going to need to get this. Lord, we need to get into this place of perfect peace. So we ask now that you would move through the internet, through the recordings in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, whether you're joining me live or not, it's going to be an exciting year. I've released a prophetic word for the new year, and you can watch or read it over at my webcast or my website, DougAddison.com. And the prophetic word for the new year talks about stepping into the very reason that you were created. God is moving right now, and He's doing some new things. He's working behind the scenes. It's going to be a turnaround year for a lot of people. Isaiah 26:3, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. So the key to walking in perfect peace is to renew your mind and trust God in this process. He's got your back. He's not the one causing all the tragedies out there. You need to understand that part of it. To step into perfect peace, you got to understand where peace comes from and where the attacks come from. And so we live in a time right now where actually stress can be linked to illness and even death. There's some studies, I don't know if you know this, but people are suffering from anxiety. They're suffering from being stressed out, having too much to do. Well, the remedy is to trust the Lord. Honestly, it sounds that easy, but it is. 1 John 4:18 is the root of sicknesses, fear, stress, and anxiety. Now, I want to, let you know that I got this from reading a book by Dr. Henry Wright, and it was talking about the more excellent way, which is the spiritual root to disease. And he talks about this, but I've actually taken this a little step further and brought this in to how to break free of a lot of the things that are getting you in your life. 1 John 4:18 says, there is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear because fear involves torment. But those who fear are not made into perfect love. Now, that's so important. There's a thing called perfect love. And John talks about it. Perfect love is where you align yourself with love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might. Love your neighbor as yourself. Those are the loves. Those are the things you need to love God. That's why it's so important to align yourself with the understanding of who Jesus really is, who God really is as a father. And He's not out to get you. As you align yourself with that, and then loving other people and not seeking revenge or having unforgiveness in your heart that can get you sick. It did me. And also loving yourself. Those are the things. So fear is not just an emotion. According to 1 John 4:18, fear actually can come in and bring in tormentors. And many people, Christian or non-Christian, it doesn't matter, can be tormented by the spirit of fear. And, if you don't realize it, that it could get assigned to you to try to keep you out of God's perfect peace and perfect love. Now, the Isaiah, when I was talking about the Isaiah verse, it was Isaiah 26:3 was talking about perfect peace. Well, then 1 John 4:18 talks about perfect love. And what really that means is that when you align yourself with these things, it can cause everything then to come into line or come into flow with heaven and those things around you. So stress is a symptom that you're lacking peace, that you're having an open door in your life to the spirit of fear. And I got healed of anxiety. I got healed of stress, Lyme disease, multiple chemical sensitivity. Once I understood these things, I moved out of a 4-year affliction that was partly because I was stressed out from the different things, and there's a lot of losses in my life, a lot of different things got there. But I want to stand right before you now, and I say that I'm standing in perfect love. I've cast out the tormentors of fear, and that I'm being healed even more. I've got so much healing, even more each day. So fear, by the way, 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "But God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind." Very important. Fear is a 4-letter word that starts with F. Did I just say that? Yeah, I did. It's a bad thing, really, but it's mentioned in the Bible over 365 times. Do not fear. Do not be afraid. So God wants you to even grab hold of it, maybe even one a day, is to grab hold of not being in fear. Fear of being deceived, fear of getting out of God's timing. People get fearful for a lot of things. Fear of failing, fear of terrorism, fear of cancer, fear, a fear of turning your cell phone off, for a short period of time. There's such fear. You got to break through this stuff. And as you detox from fear and stress, you're going to start seeing a change happen in your life. And here's a couple of just easy steps that you can do right now. What is your source? What's the source of fear? Or maybe the source of stress? I had to do this. I had to start journaling. I don't mean like a Dear Diary thing, but I just started making notes throughout the day what it was that would pop up in my head. I want you to do this. You can actually invite the Lord into the place of your fear. Invite the Lord into that place of stress. Even if you're stressed out, ask Him to show you what the root cause of these things. And once you find the root, it's going to really help you. And you can take some steps to, by choosing to pray instead of to get stressed out. Like if you end up yelling at your friends, your family, your kids, whatever, or you take a break and ask forgiveness. Do things like that. But there's something I want you to look up. It's my friend Paul Cox with aslanplace.com. You could actually you could do an internet search on swatting the fly of fear, and then you'll see it's a blog on Aslan Place that has so many verses to that I don't know if there's a ton of them, verses about fear. And he recommends, praying it for 40 days. I didn't have to do it for 40 days, but you might want to if you're suffering from fear. At least get a hold of that. At least just do something. Don't set the bar so high that you feel like you won't be able to make it if you fail, if you don't make the 40 days. But get a hold of that. Download that, print it out, begin to pray each day. There's usually some root causes to fear, and there's also root causes to the other thing that could really get you, especially this time of year, is procrastination. Procrastination comes when you feel like you already have too much to do, which is true. Or maybe it seems unpleasant or boring. Maybe you're overwhelmed in some areas. You need to have some structure. Or maybe taking on too much stuff, or having the fear of failing or succeeding even. And the steps to overcome procrastination. I had to go through this because, believe it or not, even though I'm a get-her-done kind of guy now, I actually suffered pretty badly from procrastination for a good period of my life. So here's how you do it. Ask God to show you what the root of your procrastination is. Then pray and invite the Lord into that area of your life. Maybe you feel stressed out. Maybe you feel overwhelmed. So invite the Lord into that place. Or maybe you feel like that you really don't have time for one more thing. Well, right? Invite the Lord into that. Develop a plan of action. You don't have to be a planner to do this, but I'm going to show you how I was able to break through fear and procrastination both at the same time. And I call it developing the breakthrough lifestyle, or the just one small thing strategy. Now, I talk about this a lot because if you could get this down, if you could develop this as a lifestyle, that's what's going to change you, is a lifestyle change. Small things done consistently towards something big will add up later on. You can maybe ask yourself each day or maybe once a week, what is one small thing that if I were to do it would have the biggest impact on my life? And again, remember, you might be feeling stressed out right now because this is about stress and procrastination, but this is how to develop the strategy to get out of stress and procrastination at the same time, because they can be like a 1-2 punch against you. Now, here's what I want you to do. What's one small thing that you can do that might have a big impact or have an impact? Maybe let's see. If you're just starting out on this, here's what I recommend: is not start with the big things. Maybe you feel stressed out because your laundry is backed up, or maybe you feel stressed out because your checkbook isn't balanced, or maybe you feel stressed out because you need to clean out your house or your garage. Do one small things toward it. And usually when you do a clean out job, I found this anyway, you'll get a burst of energy afterwards because you feel like you accomplished. It was something smaller, I just did it this past weekend. End of the year, I usually go through my home office with all my recording equipment and everything, and I go through it and reorganize. I order things and, label, because I'm not usually an organized person, but when I need to find something, it really stresses me out. So a source of stress for me was being disorganized. So I bought some plastic bins and I labeled them, and I spent a couple hours, that's all it was, on Saturday. I spent a couple hours and I got some things ordered that I needed and put some things in the bins that changed as I'm doing what I'm doing right now as I'm doing these recordings. So to me, I made that one small decision, that one small thing. It took me 2 hours to do it, and man, it was a huge changer for me. It brought away, it took away the stress of things going wrong and not having, not being able to find stuff. That's my thing. So if you work with the small things, listen to me. What is cleaning your house out or doing your laundry or organizing your office? What's that got to do with the bigger things? Well, if you can develop a lifestyle of this, imagine what's going to happen to your life. And this is what happened to me. I kept putting off writing my first book, and I knew that I needed to write it. I just couldn't do it. So I applied this one small thing strategy. What was one small thing I could do towards, writing the book? Well, okay, I could, do some research on it or talk to someone else who's written. And so I started doing the one small thing a week towards some of my bigger goals. I still do that. And now, here's how you do it. This is the procrastination and the stress breaker. So what's the one small thing that would change your life? Now, make a decision. If you're to get out of debt, maybe you want to lose weight, maybe you want to reconcile a broken relationship, or, like I just said, clean up the house or your office, or maybe it's going, back to college, or taking a ministry trip, or signing up for, an online course like I have. And that's a decision right there. You make a decision. When I was wanting to get in shape, I made one decision, and then I made a step. So there's two things here. First of all, find the thing. There's 3 steps. One is find the thing that you want to do. Second is make a decision to do something about it. And third is take a step. And so it is one or 2 small things that you can do right now, today, towards this decision. Maybe you want to write a letter or an email to someone, maybe make a phone call, purchase a book, a DVD, and like a online course. There's I've got a lot of online courses, especially on how to write books and different things like that. And so you make that decision and do the small things. You don't have to make a big deal out of this. Small things done consistently will cause you to have a breakthrough. And I do this every week. I do it daily pretty much, but I do it every week and develop the lifestyle. So Lord, I want to open this up right now. I want to open this over people. Open the heavens over you right now to break through stress. Lord, reveal the area of stress, the stressor. Reveal the area of procrastination. Reveal the things that may be feeling like it's overcoming each person right now in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, we're going to, actually, I'd like to offer you something to go even further with this. I'm doing an online workshop January 18th called Activate Your Life Purpose, Strategies for Your New Season. And it's how to apply the prophetic words that have been talked about. Just go to dougaddison.com/activate. Also, check out my daily prophetic words, hashtag daily prophetic. If you haven't seen my app yet, the Doug Addison app, it's on, it's available for Apple, it's at the Apple Store, and also for Androids. Just check that out as well. All right, it's going to be a great year. Look forward to seeing you soon.